Thank you for watching Dro TV. Welcome back to the CannaBiz show. Our guest today is Mike Wootan, founder of Hurcann. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Mike, from one mic to another. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, it was a pleasure meeting you. We met recently, a couple weeks back at the Florida Cannabis Festival. It was an excellent time. Your booth was right across the way, so we were able to engage, have some great conversations, and now we got you on the show. Love to promote your business. You got some awesome stuff going on. And I guess we should start, Mike, with tell our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got into cannabis, and a little bit about your entrepreneurial background, I guess.
Certainly. Well, my name's Mike, and I am the founder of Hurcann. To be honest with you, I don't like to think of myself as a founder, CEO. I really take pride in managing and being a part of every part of our business. And that's something that is not only important to me, but it's something that I continue to do. As far as the actual business and what we do, we supply different cannabis products, both wholesale and directly to consumers through both e-commerce, and we're also located in 25 smoke shops currently throughout the South. And we primarily, in the moment, we sell different flower, pre-rolls, some different concentrate products, and we also sell marijuana seeds. Now, a little bit about kind of how I like to do things. My preference is really to deal with small business. That's something that I feel very strongly about, and something that is one of the cornerstones, I'd say, of Hurcann and how we expect to grow in the future.
Awesome. Now, when we met, you had said that this was like your third business, fifth business. You've got a background in starting businesses.
Yeah. So I really would like to start by giving credit to my support system and the people that I have not only the pleasure of working with now, but in thinking about being an entrepreneur and what led me to this point, I really thought back as far as childhood, and more than anything, just the support system that I've always had from family and friends. And I really think that overall that is maybe the most important thing as far as what led me to where I am today, because no one really ever told me that I couldn't do what I wanted. And I think that mentality stuck with me since childhood. So I'd like to start there. And as far as business is concerned, I started in the industry in 2018. I originally started as a consumer, as a teenage consumer. And way back then, we really didn't know. It was still like, to get a gram or an eighth was really just kind of one of those things where you'd be lucky to get what you get. And I feel fortunate that I've been able to see legalization and be a part of the industry, and I'm personally really excited for where we're headed in the next 5 to 10 and beyond, 5 to 10 years and beyond that. To circle back to my specific experience, I really have experience in almost every element of the business. So there was a point where I was a part of a startup for cannabis marketing. I have experience with producing new products, branding, packaging. I have experience on the side of cultivation, and I really am focused on learning as much as I can and gaining experience in every element of the business and the industry.
Awesome. Great. I know we asked you this at the festival, but I think it's timely to ask after everything you just said. What has cannabis done for you and your life, Mike?
Yeah, so that's a deep question, Mike. And the answer is not a simple one, but cannabis is really more than anything, it's helped me find myself. And there was a period of time, especially it was about 5 years ago, I would say at this point. And I found out that there was a lot that I needed to learn, not only about myself, but about what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. And I feel like cannabis is something that helped me get there. And through cannabis, it took me on a path that led me to us talking today. So I'm grateful for the plant. I'm grateful for what the plant can do for others. And it's something that I certainly enjoy talking with my family and friends about and providing any help and recommendations I can. And
You guys, Hurcann has a wide range of products. We're working on a review video of the hash rocks that you hooked us up with. So thank you very much. Um, how did you come up with what products you wanted to make available? And, I know you said you had background in packaging, manufacturing, stuff like that. What made you decide on the products you do have?
yeah, so flower is a market leader. A lot of products come from the flower itself. So based on my personal experience, I have the most experience with flower and some derivatives that we sell of it. And it's just a natural fit. It also fits our business model. We really want to, and we really pride ourselves in maintaining a good relationship with small business owners. And that's really across the board, from farmers to the shops that hold our products to some of our wholesale clients. We really try to, I personally want to make things personal. At the end of the day, the way that I look at it is we're all people, and we can treat each other with respect and treat each other with kindness and be helpful in areas that we know how to be helpful in. And I don't pretend that I know everything, but if there's something that I do know, I would like to not overlook that if there's a way that I could help somebody in the industry.
Awesome. It's a great
And
answer.
and I'm sorry, I believe I digressed a little bit from your original question. So to circle back from that, so flower, a lot of it is not only what consumers want. Part of it was also what I have experience in, and I think where you're going to see us go in the future, we're going to continue to offer and grow our product line to be continue to be more in line and continue to grow through the values of our brand. So our products really are going to have a relationship with our company values, if that makes sense.
Sure. Absolutely. Now you mentioned the industry 5, 10 years from now. Hopefully it's like we're inching our way towards federal legalization,
Yeah.
as slow as that may be.
Mhm.
But do you envision what the space is going to look like 5, 10 years from now? Or do you have a hope or a dream of what this space will look like 5, 10 years from now?
Sure. It's definitely something that I personally pay attention to. I try to stay as current as I can with the politics, and like you mentioned, we're inching forward. We're inching forward. If we look at the last 5 years, there's definitely been a lot of progress, but I think we certainly have a good ways to go. So at least looking to what I think in my head it's going to look like, I think it's going to be, I've already seen the taboo go away with a lot of people. It's a lot easier for me to talk with family and friends about different products, and understanding that, not everybody everybody's use of cannabis is different. So I have people that talk with me about cannabis and CBD for their pets. I have people who prefer edibles and tinctures and drinks. And I also talk to a lot of people who just enjoy smoking. And some people use it medically, some people use it recreationally, some people use it topically, and that's the wonderful thing I love about the plant. So I think where we're headed is we're going to see cannabis in a wide range of things, probably beyond what we could even dream up today as we're talking.
Awesome. Now, talking with you, Mike, especially like your vision of the company, working with small businesses, I always like to ask our guests, is there a story or a time that you can think of where entrepreneurs love positive feedback, right? So is there a time where maybe it was a family member or a customer, one of these small farms you were talking about, where it really solidified and gave you that, good heart feeling that I'm doing the right things, or something you could think of where, somebody gave you rave reviews or something like that?
Well, I think at any time that somebody has something positive to say, it feels good. And I think the best way that you can tell that somebody enjoys your products is if they come back and order them again. And we certainly appreciate reviews and positive feedback, and we take constructive feedback as well. And our goal is to always get better. We want to continue to improve and follow as best we can where the industry is headed, as far as both the trends and as far as best practices. I really can't think of one thing, because every time somebody is positive, it goes a long way. And I think that positivity radiates, and it's something that you can then carry, and then you can then, transfer to somebody else who it just continues to grow. It's positivity and negativity in general. I think they spread like wildfire, and it's just a matter of harnessing that energy. I'm a big believer of that.
Me too. Me too. You smile at someone walking down the street and they smile back. That can go a long way for somebody's day and positive mindset. So I completely agree.
Definitely.
Now, with all the different businesses you've been a part of, are there any effective ways of marketing that you can share with some of the entrepreneurs that may be tuned in listening?
Definitely. There's the thing about cannabis. If you want to navigate the industry, you have to not only be creative, but you have to be open to learning. And I can tell you that is something that I invest my time in, and it's something that I did, which was to learn new skills that are required to navigate cannabis marketing. So some of the things that I learned in particular were about SEO, or search engine optimization. So there are people out there who are certainly experts and certainly could talk to you about it for hours or probably days. But at the same time, I took a crash course. I continue to learn different ways that we can build our presence online without using those traditional methods, because the reality is it's difficult. The easiest thing to do is to spend a little bit of money, put up a Facebook ad, put up a Instagram ad. Google AdWords is extremely popular with a lot of businesses, both small and large, but that doesn't apply to cannabis. So you have to be willing, ready, and able to learn new skills. And that is just what it boils down to. Now, fortunately, we live in a day and age where you can get everything off the internet, and we have so many resources that we can tap into, whether it's something as simple as a YouTube video, or Reddit is really popular for posting community topics that you can receive professional feedback on for free. And sometimes from there you can gain professional contacts. LinkedIn is another thing that I use, and really it's just gathering resources and learning new skills. So SEO is huge. Understanding how to run a website properly is big, and I think that the list is really endless. As far as different ways you can market, there's a lot of companies that use things like billboards, and they're looking at what are the views and impressions as far as traffic, and that may be a way that somebody wants to go. And there's really just the sky is the limit, but it does require advanced thinking.
Sure. I bring up this question only because the industry we're in, the big tech platforms, you mentioned Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, they'll certainly take your money and promote whatever it is you are trying to promote. And then they may take away your page. They may shut down your ad. They may say, sorry, but they have your money.
Yep.
One thing that we had touched upon at the festival, which I don't know how much you want to get into now, I think it's important, is email newsletters, because we're heavy on Instagram. That's our biggest platform that we're active on. And we see people left and right, channels taken down. I'm not sure exactly what the reason is, but we try to put out a newsletter at least once a month. We're trying to do it twice a month. And I know you have quite the email newsletter, at least numbers. Is that something you can touch upon as well, why that's so important?
Yeah, I certainly can. Before I get there, I want to say that I totally understand what you're saying about Instagram and whatnot. As we're having this conversation, we don't have an Instagram because it keeps getting banned. Because I think I get a little, and this is why now we're working with someone who's more of an expert, because I think I get a little too excited when I'm on Instagram and I post things that I've learned the hard way that they don't like when you post things like pre-rolled joints, or if anybody is smoking in any of the pictures. So there's a lot of nuances that there's no guideline for, and the only way to learn them is the hard way. But it's a hard lesson to learn because social media is so popular and so powerful, and it does generate sales. Now, as far as email goes and marketing and newsletters and things like that, that ties back into what I was saying about learning new skills. So I had no understanding of email marketing or newsletters or how to do really anything related to that. And I learned. And what I can share is that it's very possible to do. I can tell you that we are able to use different platforms to reach target demographics and do so in a time efficient way, in a cost effective way. And I can't share all my secrets, Mike, but I can tell you that everything that I know is public knowledge, and it's not something that it doesn't take an advanced degree. It just takes time and effort, and I guess I can leave it there.
Sure. Well, we had the conversation about social media, and you had brought up newsletters, and which is why I wanted to wasn't trying to get you give away the secret sauce, but we just talked to so many people that they don't compile emails, they don't do any type of email newsletters, and it's still one of the most effective forms of marketing, because especially with a MailChimp service, you can see who's opened the email, what they clicked on, and we live in a data age, so that information, it can certainly help whatever your product or service is. So yeah, that's mainly why I wanted to touch on it, because we talked to so many people that aren't doing it, and I think it's detrimental to someone's business if they're not putting together, at least compiling emails for when they get shut down. They can send out an email to everybody and say, hey, here I am. I'm back up again. Find me here.
Right. And I think part of the reason why is because on the surface level, it's not completely obvious how to do it, right? So we at the show at the CannaFest, we were collecting some emails, but how many we collected over the course of the 2 day show was minimal. It wasn't, they weren't, you wouldn't go into a show and expect to collect 1,000 or more emails. You can certainly add the people that you meet and that you get as contacts for your business. The other obvious way would be through your existing customers who order products. But when you're thinking about, well, how do I expand outside of that? That's where it requires that creativity that I was talking about. And I think that it's it basically, I'll put it simply. You have to learn how to scrape emails. You have to use different platforms, and you have to understand how you can successfully use the platforms that have email to extract the email. And there is a way to do it, and there is a way to do it both time and cost effectively. And it's not something that you don't have to be in, an MBA in internet technology to figure it out.
Right.
Because I'm living proof, because I figured it out and I'm not. I mean, I like to think that I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I wouldn't, definitely beyond maybe a basic to a low intermediate conversation, you'd probably lose me.
Sure. Yeah. I call it YouTube University. If you're watching this, chances are you're watching this on YouTube. Go on there and say how to run a MailChimp campaign, how to scrape emails from whatever.
Yep.
And at least it'll give you a start. It'll kind of start to lead you down the direction, and you'll certainly be smarter than you were, even if you don't get all the answers right away. The information's out there.
Totally, Mike. And I wish we were having this conversation 10 years ago when I was in college.
Yeah,
YouTube
for sure.
University, buddy. That's the way to go. Endless information, endless degrees, endless knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Awesome. Mike, thank you so much for being an excellent guest on Drew TV. Please let everybody know the best place that they can find you.
Mike, thank you as well. It was really a pleasure meeting you and your team at the CannaFest. I'm happy that we were able to connect today, and I hope this is just the start of something great for the future. If you want to reach us, our website would be the best place to do so. It's hurcann.com, HURCANN.com. Soon we'll be back on Instagram, so we'll have that posted at the top of the website, all of our social links. And certainly feel free to reach out to us by phone or email. I don't mind anyway. I'm happy to talk any which way I can.
Awesome. And I can attest, I called you on the phone. We set this up, and so there you go.
That's right.
Excellent. If you enjoyed this episode, please go down and hit the like button. If you like content like this, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well, because this is where the good stuff is, the CannaBiz show. So thank you again, Mike. That's Mike Wootan from Hurcann. So thank you again for coming on Drew TV. More great episodes on the way. That's it for today. Thank you. Goodbye. What has cannabis done for you in your life?
Cannabis has done a lot for me. I would say that off the top of my head, the first thing that I always think about when someone asks me that question is it's taught me a lot about myself. And I found that I have ebbs and flows, not only in my life, but also in my use. And in times that I've leaned on cannabis very heavily, I've found that it's really helped me look introspectively and figure out a lot of things that make me a better person today.
Awesome. Great answer.